gaming bets. Online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Play CSGO? Discover more than 5 various kinds of bets just for a single map. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins, but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CS Go Fast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Welcome back to the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 2. My name is TomBiz14. Joining me will be Flakes. And, well, we've just seen a complete turnaround after a very close map that ended up going the way of TSM. We've seen a complete stomp. And, well, realistically, it's what we could have seen in the first map had Renegades not actually made a pretty decent comeback.
Well, it's certainly the thing. The one thing that does get to me is that I'm not sure if it's a very much one-sided map or if it's TSM making some fatal mistakes. So for me, the aspect I'm kind of taking mentally into this game is that this is almost a lifeline for TSM. They've given another opportunity, another map to go back into things. Still not quite fresh faces you'd normally see in a kind of overtime scenario, but still an opportunity for them to start from scratch. They've got 2 pistol rounds to play with as usual, you know, the standard kind of setup. And I'm going to be looking to see what they can bring to the table.
Yeah, of course, we are now going on to Dust2, which in terms of the map itself, tactically, it does become quite repetitive. We saw Envy the other day just go short almost every single time, and it was sort of mind-blowing and such. But this is where we really see the sort of crazy players come out to play. I'm looking forward to seeing the sort of AWP battle earlier on to see whether or not the 2 in-game leaders can actually do their job and whether Ricky and Semphis can find those AWP picks. The other thing to mention is the fact that whether or not we'll see which stars we'll see step up. We saw Azza and JKS definitely there on the second map. Ustillo there still as well. Then on the sort of first map, I was still looking towards Sick. He was phenomenal and then just fell off completely. Wasn't even there in that second map at all. Same really for Twist, and that was the sort of disappointing factor for me. It was actually FNS at the top of the board, which really was just a crazy sort of ploy that he's supposed to be support. There's a reason he's support. He's not that crazy fragger. He's not the crazy young talent. He's the one with a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and will play those supportive roles. So, well, realistically now, it's who steps up. Will it be just a continuation of Renegades, or will we see TSM go, okay, we did it in the first map, things went wrong, let's now get it back in the third?
Well, this is the thing. They have 2 opportunities. They can either take this mental reset, but on the flip side of things, Renegades, it's not like they're going to be going into this one going, okay, guys, yeah, we did good in the second map. We pulled through. Nice job, guys. Let's go into a third now. No, they're going to be going in guns blazing, going, we just destroyed them. We just dismantled every single play they did. They didn't pull off practically a single successive play, at least in my eyes. There really wasn't anything that come to mind, which means that you kind of look at it and go, well, Renegades, on a mentality perspective, they surely have the upper hand.
Yep, and, well, it looks like we're just going to be witnessing a little bit of the warm-up, not seeing anything too crazy just yet. Of course, hopefully we won't see any more server troubles, which has been a bit of a factor throughout this game. It looks like it was sorted out eventually, and I'm hoping we won't see any more long pauses. In terms of Dust2, we are going to be just looking at that sort of balanced setup. Like, I think statistically it's something like an 8-7 in favor of the T side. If that, it's something a very, very small margin. And realistically, a lot of the time, it just depends on what the team actually favors. And, well, that really comes down to the different styles of AWPers. Some AWPers really do relish that CT side position, especially over towards Car. You see players such as Cajun, very, very good over towards that position itself. But many, many others will actually stick in that spot. Others will take the peaks over towards middle. And, well, sometimes you see a more static AWP on B. It really is one of those maps where the AWP does reign supreme.
That kind of does mount a lot of pressure on the AWP player's shoulders, but it's all well and good having a bit of a playground or a sandbox per se for these AWPs, but there's also an opportunity for rifles to do a lot of work. One of the key positions that we've seen on the T side is we've seen a player just single-handedly barrel their way down mid, weave through mid doors, and just push mid to B, and have a huge impact when it comes down to just dismantling this CT side position. Now, albeit that came down to the fact that the CT side wasn't as well constructed and thought out, but that could be an element in this map. We don't really know what Renegades or TSM are going to bring to the table on their CT side.
Yeah, and well, again, we've already highlighted the players we want to watch. If the only thing that you have to take into account, there is still that sort of, well, stand-in player in the form of Justin, but I think this is sort of the best case scenario in terms of maps that could have come up. Obviously now we've already seen one team today go through. That will be Immortals, taking a pretty decent showing, especially in the first map over their opposition Luminosity. So we obviously have a Brazilian through. That was not really a surprise, but they are going to be going through to the sort of final position. And, well, realistically, we'll be having one of these teams there as well. I think we've already seen Optic make their way through, and it's looking like it's going to be a good battle to see those two teams qualify and who will be the two to make it through. Of course, in terms of other matchups, we still have NRG versus Cloud9 to come, and well, the winner of this, in terms of matchups, we're going to see Immortals versus the winner of this game, and Optic versus the winner of Cloud9 NRG, which I think is taking place tomorrow. So definitely a lot of stuff hotting up in this sort of bracket. We also have the lower match of the European bracket coming up as well, which will involve Hellraisers versus Team Envious. So definitely still an opportunity for some teams to get through. We've already finished off our, well, Asian bracket, where we saw 3 teams get through. That will be Tyloo, CyberZen, and MVP. And, well, I'm excited to see all of them coming to the LAN, but one of these teams is going to stay at home. Well, let's say go home. They're just going to be staying at home. And, well, in terms of the actual round, it looks like we are going to be just going straight into this pistol with armor all the way across the board.
Yeah, seems to be a fairly flat, successive buy rolling in. Renegades, they just want to go aggressive, get this one done, and Dust at a stick. He's going to be the first man to take some damage, but he also will be the first man to inflict some as he will find himself a fracture. Still back on the trade. Azza going to make it 2, takes down Justin. TSM, this B site has been completely dismantled. Ricky going to find another, shots down FNS. And while we talked about it being dismantled, that's not only been shot down, but now we're looking at this reckoning kick back into full force. TSM, they have 2 members down. It will be Twist and Semphis. They don't even look like they want to be going for this one. They're just playing it safe, looking for even an exit frag per se, and well, that's not at all what you want to be seeing, as now Semphis will take down Ricky. They have no kid in play, so they can't be playing the time. But Semphis still wants to be going aggressive and finds himself a push. A couple of flurry of frags just going to be rolling across the board. So he's on a 1 versus 2, much better than a 4 versus 2. But even then, that bomb is just going to be ticking away. The time just not in his favour. A crisp one-shot being delivered to the cranium of Yostillo. The one-tap in that scenario. Gotta say, Tom, it feels almost meaningless. A credible attempt by Semphis, but it's still not going to counter around.
Yeah, and he's even going to lose his Kevlar towards the end, which could have been something nice to take into the next round, especially if he brought up a scout with it, which you actually see him do here. So not going to be having that into the next round, but in the same way, Renegades, I actually really like the late play in that round, where they go aggressive towards Twist to just not allow any chance of Semphis coming back into the round. Obviously, if it backfired, then sure, it would have had to be some pretty impressive shots, but already we are seeing some scout damage done. Early on, FNS is going to get one, get taken down in return, and now we're seeing these SMGs coming back into play. This time they do have a rifle alongside it, plus the scout as well, which is going to do a little bit more damage. Semphis going to be jumping up, and he'll get taken down, giving away the position of Sick, and that's going to be a nice SMG cleanup in the end. Azza finding himself 3, Yostillo with 1, and JKS with the last.
People often overlook the importance of a scout in these second round scenarios, both from a force-up perspective and also when you're off the back of a victory. But we just saw Ricky deliver 3 tags straight to the body of TSM. That is a huge impact alone, and he's going to just pull it off again, tags down Justin.
Yeah, nice work. Makes the SMG frags a lot easier as well, which in turn builds up a hell of a lot of money. Nice dink will come in. Sick doing a hell of a lot, but not quite able to find a frag just yet. Will grab 1, and now there is actually a potential for a little bit of damage to be done at least. Of course, we are going to see the SMGs brought back up, but there goes one more. Semphis going to find himself a Galil, and, well, I'm sure Sick will have a rough idea of how much damage has actually been done. There's actually a chance for them to take this now. Ricky, the only one with any real HP, has himself the scout, which is not going to be ideal. A missed shot could allow for a way back into the round, but now we need to see this move, and realistically it depends how much knowledge they have of the HP. Here comes the push. It's going to be FNS going aggressive. Not going to spot out anything just yet. Tapping away, won't even get the frag, but there goes Semphis to find one more. Looking for a little bit, just one connection will do the trick. It's all down to one. The time's not going to be enough, and Renegades will actually make this work with the Scout.
It's almost just fate. We begin to hype up the Scout, and he delivers once again, making it 2 in that round. TSM, a very nice effort, and actually really can't knock that one at all. They played around the time perfectly, but at the same time, the time just wasn't in their favor because they had no kit. If they had a kit there, I would have almost said that if he found that last frag, maybe just paced himself a bit quicker with his teammates, it would have worked out. But just look at Ricky. He's upgraded to the AWP, and he's already going to kick things off, just finding himself one.
Yeah, nice start with the AWP, but there's a trade. Semphis will find Justillo pushing through the smoke, which means back to even Stevens once again. The T's taking this one back to a slower pace. Not going to go for any more ridiculously aggressive peaks, as with only one death on the board at the moment. Has got off to a nice start, but now we're looking for those follow-up rounds. It's not about those, well, we've already got the pistol, we've got the 2 rounds afterwards. Now we're looking for the buys, and this is a sort of big factor twist. Going to be playing over towards Goose, which can be a bit more of a surprise factor now if a Molotov is not thrown in, especially when you have another player over towards Short as well, in the form of Semphis with the AWP. He will actually go a little bit more aggressive towards Long, but still holding this angle is going to be very valuable. Now we see the Molotov, but it's not going to reach over towards Goose. It's a little bit further back, but the smoke coming out should give away his position. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, as now we see FNS doing the damage, and there is Twist. He comes in nicely, finds the frag. Only one player going to be left alive. It will be Azza. He's got 45 seconds, so a little bit of time to play with in terms of this round. But he's got to tap away. He will find himself one. Now we're looking at that AWP. FNS has picked that one up. He should be able to hold this angle pretty effectively and actually finds the final frag. So TSM are on the board.
It's one round, a nice way for them to kick things off. But their economy, due to how much damage is inflicted, it's not the greatest when it comes down to a rebuy. And Renegades, it's like kind of the same sort of story. We do see a couple of low players here and there. JKS limited just a couple of $1,000. Yam even lower than that. But they can actually still get themselves, well, make that 4 AK-47s, including drops, up on the board, and Galil in the hands of Justillo, which in comparison to TSM, it's actually a fairly equal buy.
Yeah, and that AWP is going to be the big difference, I think. Semphis going to have to make a big impact. Ricky already very aggressive over towards his Molotov, trying to tap away onto Sick, but not going to find anything just yet. We see utility reasonable on both sides, but not anything too crazy just yet. In terms of the positioning, it is quite a long, aggressive push coming out from the TSM side, trying to take a little bit of map control early on and then just leave a sort of supportive player in FNS, who's actually going quite aggressively into long doors now. Has to be a little bit careful because there are 2 players still waiting outside, and it looks like, again, Renegades, they're playing this one nice and slow. They're just going to sit back, not really go for anything too crazy. However, look at the position of what I think is Azza.
FNS going to be going for a quick aggressive peek. Will find himself one. Yam quick to trade things back. Twist will fall. But the problem is Renegades, or Yam in particular, has taken a good chunk of damage, knocked down to just 31 HP, nowhere near where he wanted to find himself. But Azza still just lurking towards CT. He is biding his time. So now he looks ready to bite. Going to be peeking right round, takes the head clean off of Semphis. Looks like he might want to upgrade. Going to be making the option just as he skim on past, keeps the AK in play. But now Justin, he's at second thoughts. The push going to be rolling out. They don't know where to look, but they're going to find the frag. Justin going to make it too. And TSM look like they're going to be able to hold this one off, as you still are going to pick up one. Yam quick to trade things back into their favor once again. And now FNS, if he thought he had his work cut out from before, it's even worse now because it's going to be a 1 versus 2 with 20 seconds on the board.
Yeah, it seems like just that one player pushing him from middle really threw them off, but here he goes. He's going to go aggressive. It will be a quick trade for Justillo to find, and they're not going to be able to retrieve that AWP, so won't be in play in this round. But now TSM, a 1-round win and a loss. Now they're back in a troublesome position once again. They have themselves very little money to play with. They could go for a force, as they probably have to save in the next round anyway. But realistically, they could go for something. 1900 added on. We'll give them a little bit to play with. We do actually see Sick go for some armor behind the P250 and a 5.7 Deeg as well bought up. So nothing in this round, but look at the other side of things. Renegades realizing they need to make a little bit of money as they're going to be going with a Mac 10, and alongside that you will actually see Ricky with the UMP. So still trying to farm a bit of cash. 4 rounds to 1 at the moment, and probably feeling pretty confident in that factor. And well, in terms of the actual play, it's still a pretty standard one coming out from the TSM side.
The clock just going to be winding itself back down as it looks to see. Well, looks to more turn the hand of Renegades. It wants to force them to go aggressive. There's the one thing T-sides don't get to do, they don't get to lie and lurch. That's a CT side roll, that's what they get to pull off as Twist. He's going to be holding this angle, a very graceful angle at that, just with the deagle in hand, looking to find himself a lovely little Nico-esque 1D, but is it going to pay off in his favour? He's going to miss the first shot, that alone not going to be too great, goes to the second, won't connect. Ricky going to be the man to find the frag with the UMP, has a couple more shots going to be rattling off, but it's going to be in a very vague direction. As TSM, they are nowhere to be found, just spread out across the map. Justin, the only man remotely close with a pistol, going to be going for a bit of an aggressive peek, but he's going to get punished. Yam going to find another, and one by one they will fall. FNS going to be the first man to find a frag, but even then, what on earth can he possibly do?
Yeah, this is looking pretty bleak. Sempers will find another one though, so a little bit of extra money made up, but not anything too crazy. Renegades will hit themselves onto 5, and now we're looking at what will actually come in onto that CT side. As you can see, Sick hasn't really got too much money to play with, and I'm still feeling like the better scenario is to just go for a little bit, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Just a few pistols, meaning that they probably could have gone for a force in the last round, but the buy may not be quite as good as what they will achieve in the 8th. However, Renegade's going to be just buying back up and getting rid of those SMGs, making sure that they are playing this one safe. A few deagles across the board, so there is still potential for TSM, but it is looking more like the sort of Renegades of Cash rather than the Renegades of Mirage, and that's a really scary prospect because we know how far they ran away with this one. This time starting on the T side, so you never know, maybe we'll see a reaction from TSM pretty soon, but the reaction has to come out pretty soon, otherwise they will be looking down the barrel of being out of this tournament.
Here's the thing, we said this was their last chance to step up to the plate. There really is no kind of sugar you can use to foam over that one. This is it, they need to start doing some damage. They're just on 1. Currently, Renegades still perched well and truly on 5. Looking to take it one step further. There are only pistols to hold off this round. And this is where we begin to get down that narrative of when will Renegades stop, as they're inflicting just so much horror to the hands of TSM. But this is a bit of a response. Sick in the tap away, finds himself one. The deagle just rattling off shots, but nothing seems to be going in their favour. It's just going to be the expected option. These rifles just going to be dropping them where they stand, and TSM denied any impact at all.
Yeah, 6-1 up. Now we will see the buy come in, though. This is where things should get a little bit interesting. Semper's going to buy up an AWP, and there is still the potential for them to go for a secondary one if they so please. Not really seen too much of the AWP just yet. Not seen anything too impressive from it either. Semper's currently is topping the board, but Justin is the one down the bottom. Stick is in fact going to be the one picking up that secondary AWP. Ricky with one on the T side also, and well, this is a switch up. This is their idea. This is what they're trying to do to bring it back, but if not, we will be seeing the half already pretty much in the hands. But there we go. Sick opens things up. He takes down Azza. Ustilo is quickly there to trade as they're now rushing down mid to get onto that B site. Going to leave Justin Nyan alone, and he still doesn't know that there's not a push coming from tunnels at all. They're going to be all pushing in. He'll do some damage, but it won't be a frag, leaving them with a man disadvantage. And, well, realistically, I feel like they're going to have to save in this one. Come back in the next round. They'll have a nice bit of loss bonus, and then they will be able to continue to buy.
It's all well and good being able to continue to buy, but it's the same old recurring circle, Tom. Renegades, they're going to be on 7. TSM, they're already letting this half almost run away with them. If Renegades find one more round after this, if they can pick up their 9th, Renegades have won the half. And we said that same story over in that second map. And I've got to say, I'm just a little bit nervous at this point that we're starting to see that same thing come full circle.
Yeah, it is starting to look a little bit more dominating. But whether or not they can just continue this, because that's the big factor for me, is how slow Renegade started. That was the thing that really scared me, because their first half of the first map was really, really bad. The second half was great, but they weren't quite able to close it out. And then they're just incredible all the way across Cash. Now, they've started very strongly, but we know that maybe they could do the reverse, end the way that they started this one. However, now we're looking at a buy once again. They've managed to savor this one. As said, they kept a few rifles into the last round, but Renegade's still walking away. There goes Semper, so he'll start things off. But we saw that in the previous one. And even with the man disadvantage, Renegades were able to bring this one back. So let's just witness what can be achieved. Semper's going to be going a little bit more aggressive. The bomb's still sat over towards the top of mid. We have quite a lot of presence towards middle on the CT side in general, but not going for anything too crazy, too aggressive. Ricky going to be throwing out some nades over towards the B site, but not anything that's going to catch too much of the attention of Sick. And in the meantime, a nade going to be thrown out onto middle, which could do some damage. Not really going to achieve too much, realistically. So, 1 minute 10 on the clock. Still a man advantage for the CT side. Waiting for some sort of aggression to come out. And they've actually got 3 players quite convincingly over towards that B side at the moment, where the push seems to be coming in. As they're going to be throwing out a smoke, and it may force some sort of a rotation, but they seem pretty stuck to this one, and it looks like we may just be about to have a bloodbath situation for the T side if they are to push into this. They still have 45 seconds. They don't have to commit just yet, and Azza could be giving the call to go somewhere else if he just gets that little bit of info.
Just going to be waiting to see if that information will roll in. Going to be looking to see exactly what will take place. The one problem I've got is still Semphis. He's just wrapping him from behind. That's going to be his trigger word. Now kicks into action. Sick already finding himself too. Semphis will actually miss the shot. JKS will find himself one in the meantime. But they have just been mopped up. Azza, well, he's the last man standing. TSM, we said they need to do something. They are doing it. But Azza, he's going to just make this one a little bit more costly. Finds himself another frag, looking to take it one step further. He's just holding down this B side, but the bomb's still not in his hands. Going to be going aggressive towards door. Twist, the man hiding this one up close and personal. Wants to go give him a bit of a hug. The Orb's still going to miss another shot. Azza going to take down Semphis. The AWP still going to get saved. It's actually going to be the double AWP getting saved. TSM, they've made it to not only 2 AWPs, they've made it to their second round.
Yeah, and they managed to do it a little bit of a gamble. 3 players over towards that B site worked perfectly for them, especially with only one sort of luck position. At the moment, Justin not really on the board at all, which is unfortunate, especially on a map like dust2, where realistically he should be able to do this. And Ricky, he's going to be starting off the round nicely. Takes down Semphis. We've had 4 ops originally in the server. Now we're down to just 3 and 1 on the floor. And this could be the break the Renegades need. They could smash down the economy already. Sick going to be taking some damage, but he will find the frag with the AWP. FNS and Justin combining to find a couple more kills. Ustilo will open one back up and has himself the site with his teammate here spraying away, not quite managing to find the frag onto Sick, which would have brought the round back to an even scenario.
Clock still going to be winding itself down. The bomb going to be aiding him. In Sick, he's just going to be buying his time over towards door. He's got the AWP in hand. That's going to be crucial. But the smoke's just going to keep on blocking him out. It's no overness. He's got this double AWP over towards tunnel when he makes himself a frag. Ricky going to be the man to fall. Ustilo looking to find himself a quick trade, but it's just not working out in his favour. FNS will go aggressive once again. Picks up the second frag. And this double AWP is doing absolute wonders, because FNS, he actually found 3 in that round. Sick to find one of his own. And Justin just to be the only man to do the damage with the rifle, the TSM. And well, maybe that's just going to be an ode to what they need to do on their CT side. A double AWP setup.
Yeah, and well, the bigger factor here is that it's actually going to force the T's into a bit of a problematic economic state. They will be able to go for a little bit of a buy, but not anything too crazy, which should at least bring TSM up to 4. Of course, we are going to see some aggressive pushing towards long once again, and in the meantime, it looks like the rush B is the idea here. Smokes, nades, everything thrown out. A lot of damage being done by that Molotov alone, and realistically, it looks like they're just trying to get the bomb down, but the crossfire in play is going to make things so much more difficult. The bomb being dropped outside the site is going to make it impossible. Missed shots, though, could actually allow Azza to find a couple of frags back, which could be quite costly. Making additional damage at least, and at least Semphis will finally end his life, but a little bit too much considering he was the last player left alive.
They did cut that one quite close. I was a little bit disappointed in the way that they did that one be a bit more of a bloodbath than required. But it's still around on the board. TSM certainly need it. And they are starting to string things together. It's a good sign. But we're there to keep things going as they look to finally pick up their 5th. Because potentially they could still find themselves winning the half, but it does feel a little bit hopeful just yet to be discussing that one, as Ricky not quite getting around the shot down mid this time around. Semphis aggressive on short, trying to play this Bastion-like role, looking for a frag towards lower tunnels, but Azza, he says no. Goodbye to your cranium, good sir, because you are out of this round.
Yeah, already the opening going the way of the T's. It looks like Sick was ready and waiting to try and trade, but Azza is long gone by the time he gets any opportunity to do just that. Yam has gone a little bit aggressive over towards mid. The nade may do some damage, but not too much. 21. Something respectable will help out those M4 users in finding the headshot and finding the kill. But now we're looking at this Molotov. Twist going to be throwing it out to try and slow any aggression onto short. Of course, Renegades now with a man advantage. They could step things up, but Azza down to 22. But Yam's there to trade. Doesn't even need to lose his teammate to find that frag. FNS going to be completely blind. They should know his position now, but he is going to go for the peak, but Ricky is too fast. And this could be the break for TSM. It looks like they're already falling back to save, but look at the position of Ustilo, and it looks like the T's have other ideas. They are just going to be going a little bit aggressive to try and hunt these rifles down. Justin going to be going for the peak, and will lose his life. Now Sick, the only one with even a rifle left in play, has to try and keep this one alive.
This pincer movement from Renegades, just masterful stuff. Just blocking Sick in. There is nowhere for him to run. If he chooses to just try and make a run for it towards CT, he will get taken down. But it's actually going to be him finding himself a frag. Takes down JKS. So damage being done. You're still on a worrying 2 HP. Of course, against an AWP, not going to be too impactful overall. But Sick, well, his timing going to be quite dastardly as he will get punished. You're still going to take him down. They might have had a frag, but their economy, it's not going to be too reflective of just that, because finding a frag with AWP doesn't really help you out too much.
No, it doesn't give you anything. In fact, it's, what, $100 into the bank account for a kill with an AWP. Justin going to be on next to nothing. Realistically, one save could have changed that factor. Looking for the shots down mid, not going to find anything just yet. And the double up setup now built up onto that T side. And, well, we could be seeing two very different scenarios here. The potential for Renegades to actually take this one to 11 is still on the cards. If they win this round, they reset the economy, give $1,900 as the maximum amount of money likely to be on the remaining players. That Molotov is just going to be so brutal, pushing them straight into the crosshair of Azza. Finding one, not quite going to realize the second, but it will be Ricky to find another in the meantime. But even things up will be Twist.
Justin going to find another, just spamming away the pistol, but he makes it work. The man, or a disadvantage, finds himself a huge impact frag for his team. It's going to be a 3 versus 2 TSM. They have the cards to play this one ahead. But are they going to let this one slide on by Renegades? Just 2 men standing. It will be Yam and JKS. 2 rifles on the board. A good chunk of utility to try and carry them through this one. There's a smoke going to be dropping towards CT. A flash just darting over towards Carl, trying to force Twist towards the back of side, but it will be Sick. Just going aggressive. Finds himself one. Looking for the second. The shots won't quite connect now. Just going to be playing this crouch so well. But now his teammates are going to be rolling in for the rotate. Sick doesn't even need to do the work at this point because Justin is just going to be lying in wait, and Yam, well, he's led to his death.
And somehow they bring that one back. Renegades looking like they had the firm advantage in that scenario. We will see a full buy coming into the T side, and CT's economy still hasn't got anywhere yet, so it's a really big round coming in for both teams. I do wonder what's actually in the hands of the Renegades side, and it's basically the buy we saw on the other side just moments ago. Straight rush comes out. Sempus will find the first. Looking for a little bit more as FNS, as he's now starting to step up a little bit, bringing things back in, or firmly into the favor of the TSM side. The half will already go to Renegades, but there's still the chance to bring this back to an 8-7, and then there's not real any problems for TSM just yet. It would be the statistical amount of rounds.
Statistics are one thing, but as we learned in the past, mulling over statistics doesn't tend to end too well. Some Renegades, they might be on 8, they might have secured this half win, but how far are they going to let this one slip as Twist now going to find himself another frag, takes down as a FNS soon, just to add insult to injury. As Yam, he is this last man standing before we find ourselves going into the last round of this half. What on earth can he possibly even imagine to do in this round? He's got a rifle in his hand, a Molotov in his back pocket, but even then he's not even going to do a point of damage. TSM, in fact, not a single player that took a point of damage in that round.
Yeah, really nice round. TSM leaving it a little bit late, but they have won 5 of the last 6 rounds. The one anomaly is actually what's going to hurt the Renegades' economy in this scenario. They're not going to have too much to play with. They've got to force everything in because it is that last round, and it's just going to be some pistols, mostly Tech 9s, and a Deeg onto Ricky, still wanting that 1 bullet potential. But it looks like aggressive push coming in originally towards B, but not taking anything just yet. The Molotovs will slow them down and allow the CTs to probably set up their position with 1 player over towards Car, as they're going to be going out mid, still waiting for the smoke to actually fade into position so that they're able to actually get out, but doesn't look like it's going to be happening too soon. There goes FNS trying to make something here, and this could be perfect for him, but he's not going to find the kill. It will be JKS to do the damage. Justin Semphus combined, but it's going to be trades across the shop. Sick trying to do the work, but it's back to a 2 versus 1. Somehow, this T side have got the advantage.
The pistol's just getting up close and personal, right in the face of TSM, and well, they just kind of look dazed and confused in response, as it will just be Twist. He's got this rifle in hand, but he's up against an AWP, which is going to be staring him right down the barrel. The rifle there to just add extra awkwardness to this scenario, as the Molotov will force Yam out of position, but will the frag be able to follow up? Yam's just going to be sticking this one, the timing working out huge. For Renegades, Twist, he's not able to do anything at all. Ricky going to come in with an extra insult to injury. Wallbang. Renegades, they're going to find themselves on 9, so albeit not quite the one-sided half that we expected, but it's still going to be a 9-6 on what most would view as a very much 50-50 map.
Yeah, very strong start for Renegades, but it inevitably came back. It was a sort of 7-1 scenario. They only got sort of 2 of the last few, but that's sort of enough for them. Now, if they win the pistol, they're going to be up by 6 rounds, as long as they're able to win the follow-up. And, well, realistically, that's been a lot off the bat of Azza. He's had a big half. Ricky is still there as well. JKS back to a much quieter sort of sense, and not being the explosive player we saw on the last map, but there's still potential for him to do that. It was majorly on the CT side where we saw him go huge, and if he has a position he likes, he's feeling good, then maybe he'll be able to do this one. Either way, on the other side of things, Sick has woken up a little bit, and Semphis is actually top fragging at the moment for his team, so waiting to see Twist get himself onto the board, but he was great on the T side of Mirage, so again, we're looking to see who steps up.
Renegades still going aggressive, backed up by Azza over towards short. They're going to try and find themselves a quick frag. They're going to be biding their time in the smoke. This position is actually kind of masterful. As Azza going to find one. He's still just playing around a smoke well. He's going to find himself two. And it's just mowing them down. FNS and Justin, they're going to pick up a frag respectively for their team. But it's now going to be a 1 versus 3. I just can't get over how great that position was. You're still just playing around a smoke, and I've never actually seen that before. But that was perfect.
Yeah, no, that smoke worked absolutely wonderfully for the Renegades side. They've got themselves the pistol now. They're going to go for their classic SMG buy, which, again, we've already spoken about the risks behind it, especially on a map like dust2, where there are plenty of long-range avenues. But it looks like they may get a little bit lucky with the direction that the CT or the Ts are going. This push towards B would actually work out perfectly for these SMGs. Not going to work out if they go for a longer-range push, but realistically, if they make this one work, it's a lot of money into their hands.
That's what they're going to be looking for. They're looking to make themselves some Skrilla. That's going to be Azza just really bringing that one home. Finds us a one. Will actually get punished. Semphis and Sick finding one apiece with those pistols. But Ricky is going to be there to be that insurance and policy fulfilling character. Semphis forced into a bit of a long-range battle against the UMP. Not at all a gunfight you want to find yourselves in, as you're still going to add one more to that body count. JKS picking up one of his own. And we find ourselves looking at just a solitary member. It'll be Justin. Now he has a deagle in hand. He does have the head armor, and he's actually going to find himself a frag. Takes down Ricky. So it brings it back to a 1 versus 2, but the odds still don't quite sit in his favor.
Yeah, and well, the big thing at the moment for Renegades is they don't have to go aggressive. They don't have to peek this Deeg. They can just hold passive angles, wait for him to go for the bomb, and then actually just spray him down from multiple different angles. We are going to see this peek coming out. Doesn't quite manage to hit the shot, and now we're looking at JKS. The flash is there, and that's going to be the round for Renegades. Coming a little bit close, but that's sort of the way they're doing it with these SMGs, and now they're going to look to try and do a much cleaner round, making a nice amount of cash.
Gotta say, TSM, you're beginning to just make me feel a little bit cautious about the way you're approaching this one. But they aren't going to be able to respond just yet. I'm looking to see them on a buy round, so I'm not going to read into this round at all. There really isn't too much to look at. It's just going to be TSM on a bit of an eco bash. Renegades, they're going to take full advantage, just mowing them down with SMGs. Twist, he's going to find one, just rattling off a couple of shots with a P250, a headshot to the Cranium Hustillo. But in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be meaningless.
Now, just 4 rounds is all Renegades need to make the comeback complete. The buy will be coming back in for that T side. They've got themselves the AKs. There's still a couple of MP9s in the hands of Renegades, which is that sort of bonus round mentality. They will use the HE as the cross, saving themselves a smoke, and well, it looks like we're going to see an aggressive push coming out from the CT side towards long, but straight away, we've already seen FNS out. He's going to get taken down, but the main push seems to be building up over towards that B site. 4 players getting set and ready. The close-up and personal player will be JKS, trying to use a little gap in the smoke, but not finding anything just yet. The nade going through could do a nice amount of damage and will hit a chunk out of Twist. In the meantime, there isn't too much for support, so that's going to leave things a little bit more difficult.
It's going to present a bit of an awkward one. Of course, they have a 1-man disadvantage already in their court, still stacked up over towards B side, but they've made not a single step of movement, so that's going to be at least an ode to their side. They have to find some quick aggressive frags. It looks like they just want to walk into the crossover. Ricky, please at least flash. The answer is apparently going to be no, as Ricky now going to find one, just going for the age-old repeat after repeat. We've seen it before, and it's devastated the team, and will he get away with it again? Semphis looking to kick into action, but that smoke is actually going to be doing him wonders. They're just going to stop them dead in their tracks. And TSM, just why? That is a basic thing to do. Just flash tunnels before you go for the peak, because it's pointless. You're just staring right down the barrel of an AWP who's looking for your feet, looking to find the frag. Renegades, they're more than happy to drop you where you stand, because now they only need 3.
Yeah, this is now looking really good for the Aussies. They are 3 away from getting into that final match, which could see them qualify. They will have to face off against Immortals, so we will likely see from the sort of America's qualifier either an Aussie or a Brazilian, which I'll be very happy to see. Of course, I'd love to see TSM. Already said, big fan of Sick and Looking to see him grow in the future, but talking of sick, he takes a nasty chunk, but not quite as nasty as what we see on Semphis. He's going to be down to 20 HP from that very nade. They are going to be pushing back towards middle, but not likely to find anything just yet. They don't have too much to play with. The Deegs will be there for that longer range battle, but now we're just going to see them push, and this is where we're looking towards Justillo. He has himself the Silence M4, not the best for spraying, but it can work if he can line them up. We'll find the first, falling back, throws the Molotov out, and will in fact give this over to Ricky. He has himself the AWP, the bomb going to be planted, so that's something at least for the T's to play with in the next round, some extra monetary position for them to actually play with. But in terms of actually winning the round, that's where things become more difficult. Sick will grab himself one, but here come the trades. Yam and Ricky doing the work.
Feels like we're just watching some racehorses run around the track. My one concern with TSM from the get-go was just how much damage they have taken. It appears they're not really going to be able to connect anything at all. Just the same age-old story. They're only finding one frag in a round. Sick, once again, going to be the man to find it. The Renegades, they just don't care. They're going to get themselves to 14. Now 2 steps away. When will TSM stop this one from happening? Because right now it seems like the answer is going to be never.
Well, this is sort of their last chance. In the next round, they would have the full loss bonus, 3,400, but it's not going to be too great. Yes, with the extra money they have in this scenario, it will be enough for a buy, but they don't want to be going all the way to the wire in this scenario. Double up setups on both sides, Sick picking up the secondary, Yam on the CT side doing the same. Early aggression from both teams comes out towards long, but they're basically covering off Ricky in this scenario, and already we see the drop of Semphis. A hell of a lot of damage done onto Sick, and this is looking pretty damn good at the moment. FNS down low, but Sick will find the ult pick to bring it back into contention. Still a lot of damage being done.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't extremely concerned at the HP of TSM. Sick on 20. FNS just littering on the brink of death on 13. A single shot of practically anything at this point, even to the foot, some would say, on FNS, could end their lives. Because now the clock will just going back to its age-old default state, just dwindling down. Nothing going to be stopping it just yet. No plant in sight. But the position of Azza, this could be huge if they do decide to push out through long. I'd even place my bets on them, just simply put, not checking this corner. But Azza, he's not even going to be taking the odds. He's just going to be holding this one at a bit of a wider stance. Going to be just biting right from the get-go. Takes down FNS now, looking to take it one step further. Can he take down Twist? We'll go for the pre-fire. Twist will pick up the frag, so brings it back to a 3 versus 3. Now this one does look slightly good. The low HP player has fallen. Sick going to be the last one to stand, and he's using the AWP.
Yeah, that's the smart scenario. We do also have Ricky holding the line, trying to make this work with the AWP, and he'll hit that shot. There goes Sick. Now they're going to boost him back onto the side. The Molotov is going to force him back a little bit. 20 seconds coming up on the clock. It has to be a quick play now from TSM. They're going to make their move, trying to do something here. They need to take this one quickly, but Ricky going to get the flick. It's all down to one man. Otherwise, it's going to series point. It's all down to Twist, and he'll get ended. JKS finishes him off. One more round, and Renegades have done it.
We've painted one hell of a good picture for the Australian side, but for TSM, what even can they bring to the table? Of course, they are going to be investing every single penny they've got into this round. The big question lies, just what exactly is that? Because now you can see it's going to be, actually not that bad. An AWP in play on Twist. Now that's an interesting choice in itself. For rifles are back on the board once again. Semphis actually going to be one of the men wielding the rifles. Renegades, well, it's the same old picture. So balanced buys. The one thing TSM do lack, a bit of utility. But to be honest, I've not really seen anything too amazing when it comes down to their utility usage, so I don't think it's going to be that big of an effect.
9 rounds needed in a row for TSM to bring this one back. They are going to gather up on short, push into the hands of Yam. And that's going to be the Molotov forcing him back out of position. They know that there's now some players on short, but still plenty of time to actually play with. We are going to see a little bit of a boost, a running boost in fact. Semphis going to go very aggressive, and it works. He finds the first frag. Nade will be thrown back out to do a nice amount of damage. Justillo looking like he's getting ready to actually rotate back, but the bomb's going to be down. It has to be this sort of retake scenario for the CT side. And, well, with 5 players to actually find, this is going to be a very difficult position.
Difficult, but not impossible. But you'd certainly say the odds aren't in their favour. But Weezsteal up first. He's actually going to get punished, taken down by FNS. So that's going to be a 3 versus 5, even harsher situation for them to find themselves in. It seems to be just getting worse and worse by the second. JKS to fall, Ricky to fall, and Azat, the last man, to be walking into the Renegades bit bay. Oh, just the entire grave, the team, just there lackluster. As Renegades, they won't make it work, but they still, on serious point, nothing is going to change that. TSM, they're on 7. The path just getting a small chunk shorter.
Yep, double op setup onto the T side. Semphis gets his back. Twist continues. Almost managed to hit the tag through the door, but not quite going to get it this time. Initial push will come in towards B, but not going to go too aggressive just yet. The bomb yet to be moved and will eventually be picked up by Twist. In terms of the CT buy, it's still pretty damn good at this stage. They've got themselves full utility and AWP for rifles as well, so no real skimp just yet. And, well, plenty of time now for TSM. The only thing they are running out of is rounds. They've got to make every single one count at this stage. 8 in a row now needed for them to get this back to overtime. We've already seen them do that in the first map. They strung quite a few rounds together. This is a different task altogether, but realistically it is possible.
And one issue for TSM is that getting 5 men onto the A site once again, that's going to be pretty damn tough because Renegades, they're onto you. They know what your plan is. Well, you see a tag roll in. Twist actually going to be knocked down to 51 HP. FNS going to be going aggressive. Will find himself the trade. Making a big return on the damage being dealt out. Ricky going to be the man to fall. That's a bit of a huge one for Renegades to lose. So now they look to barrel back once again, back up on the A side, but it's all just a bit of a ruse. Azek going to be the next man to fall. Looks like he maybe could have found himself a frag, but it's just not going to work out. FNS just going absolutely huge. He makes it 3. Can he even find 4? Just going to be lurking around a smoke. Sick now going aggressive. Yam going to pick up one of his own on towards Twist. But it seems to just be all falling apart for the Renegade side. They're left dazed, confused. And still, the same phrase comes to mind. Lackluster, crumbling, the last needed moment.
Yep, still only 1 round needed, but 7 needed for TSM. They built themselves up some money. It's just going to be a pistol or 2 over on the Renegade side in this round, just trying to at least hurt that economy, maybe drop an AWP and force them to rebuy it, but not anything that really matters at this stage to TSM. As long as they can get the full buy on, they're going to be absolutely happy with this one. Already starting off again with a little bit of aggression, but it's going to be the mid push coming out. CT's trying to do a hell of a lot as a will find 1, but that's looking like they may not get too much more. Sick spraying away, cleaning things up. 3 headshots in a row, and only 1 player left to fight.
It's going to be leaving a bit of an awkward taste in the mouths of Renegades. They know they've made a couple of mistakes. They can't let this one get to their heads. Yam, he's the last man standing in this pistol round, trying to have a bit more of a shred of an impact. Does just that, takes down Sick, but Semphis quick to trade things back out, utilizing the range of the AWP. Now TSM, they now find themselves on 9. Renegades, nothing new here. They're still perched on 15. But you take a look at the money. Renegades then they can now bring something back to the table. The rifles coming up into force. The single AWP in the hands of Yam. So it's fairly equal footing. Both teams single AWP. Both teams, they've got all the rifles they need. And both teams, they have a good chunk of utility. But it'll be Yam to open things up for his team.
Yeah, that's the start that was needed for the Renegade side. They've got 4 more players to find, and they are, well, 1 best of 3 away from getting themselves to the land. That's going to be another for Ricky. It's looking like this could be their moment to shine. It's going to be down to Twist, Sick, and Justin to try and bring this one back. Of course, Justin the stand-in. Hell of a lot of pressure coming in onto him at the moment. Otherwise, he knows that this TSM side are going to be going out of the tournament. Only playing 1 match, in fact, because they were invited at a later stage. Renegades, only 1 later stage, but still. Twist up onto short. They still have plenty of time. That's the only real thing in their favor at this stage. Utility may also be on their favor as well, actually, because the CTs have had to skimp a little bit in that aspect. You still are with the only kit in play. But here comes that short push. A minute left on the clock. Yam ready and waiting with an AWP. Actually taking it out of the hands of Ricky. Going to throw out some nades, but the bomb not quite dedicated just yet. Here goes the flashbangs. They're going to be rushing onto the position of Yam. Needs to try and find the shot, and he'll miss. Is the trade going to come in? Yes, it is. Azza finds the frag. Now it's just 2 players trying to make this one work. Justin going to be going for that bomb plant.
It's going to be ticking away. Just adding a couple more seconds for them to play with Justin looking for a quick frag. Sick going to find one with the AWP, but Azza trades things straight back. Shaky has to find the second. And that is it. The defuse will roll in. Renegades, they're going to make it work. 16-9 on this 3rd map, and that is the series concluding.
Yeah, and, well, nice work from them. They get off to a couple of long streaks. Of course, it's been a long day. It has been a long, long day, but that is it. Renegades are going to go through. They will be facing off against Immortals. We will also have another, I suppose, sort of semi-final coming up, I think, tomorrow. And that will be... well, it'll be on this channel for sure, but whether it be us or Mega Man actually taking over it, we will find out tomorrow whether we can recover. Either way, that is it for today. Congratulations to Renegades, but they've still got one more game to face. It's going to be a tough one because the Brazilians have put up a good fight, of course, on the other stream versus Luminosity. Either way, thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we may see you tomorrow.